Hello, welcome to this week's Talking Film. I'm your host Daniel, and we have Nick on the other side, and let's get straight into the movie news. Of course, the biggest news of the week, and I would probably say the only real news to come out from any studio at all, is that two of Hollywood's best directors have got a new gig. They've done Cloudy with Chance Meatballs, they've done the two Jump Street films, they've done the Lego movie, and now the next movie is a Star Wars movie. And it's going to be about a young Han Solo with Lawrence Kasdan and John Kasdan, I think that's how you pronounce the names, have written a screenplay for it. And Lawrence has worked on other Star Wars films such as The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, probably the only two best Star Wars sequels to come out. And also this year's The Force Awakens. The two directors I've talked about is Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Two people I wanted to direct a Marvel film, but this is a nice step in the right direction, which might lead to Marvel. So Nick, what's your reaction? Because I'm positive about this.
I'm really positive because these guys are great. I like how in their press release they said that this might be the first movie that wasn't a bad idea to start with. That they're going to do that they're going to turn into from a good idea to a good movie. But I disagree. I think they're going to go from a bad idea to a good movie again because I don't think this is a good idea. But I think this is the perfect directors to bring it to life. So I'm really positive. I don't know how they're going to make a Han Solo film comedic because that's basically what they do. They do comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to make the Han Solo, but I guess out of all the characters in Star Wars, Han Solo is the one that they're going to be able to do it the most with, aren't they? I mean, he's the comic relief. So you never know, especially if Chewie's in it. And that's probably how they met, kind of slow motion running across a beach. It's like, Chewie! Anyway. Chewie gets shot. No, Chewie! Oh. Right, that's been done in a movie before. But that would be funny. Not that particular scene, but someone being shot in slow motion, and then, yeah, that's been done before.
They'll have the epic shot between Greedo and Han Solo. Who shot first?
Yes, that's the whole movie. The whole movie is that scene replayed with all the different angles of possibility that who could have shot first. There's one where Greedo shot first. There's one where Han Solo shot first. There's one where they both missed. There's one where they start punching each other over the table. And
do you think this will just be like a standalone story? Do you think they won't tie into Episode 4, or you think eventually this is just like a first standalone story of young Han Solo, and if it does so well, they'll do other sequels that could lead in?
I don't know. Could go either way. But I think there's got to be some references because it's the first. It seems like, then again, Rogue One could be tying into the original trilogy a bit, but this is the first one that they have very obvious opportunities to tie it into the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and that's what everybody loves. So it'll be surprising. It'll be surprising to me if Disney, not necessarily Lord and Miller, but if Disney doesn't want this anthology film to tie into the original films, because that's really where they're going to bring, like, they're marketing The Force Awakens right now as a return to the glory of the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, as a return. They're marketing on nostalgia, and they're marketing on the fact that everybody wants to experience that feeling they saw when they saw Star Wars 40 years ago. They want to. They're marketing on that. So, I think it would be surprising to me if Disney didn't want to either shoehorn in a similar way. I mean, Ant-Man's coming out. It's kind of obvious to make a reference to Ant-Man right now. And I mean, Edgar Wright departed because Marvel/Disney wanted to shoehorn some MCU tie-ins in. And they not necessarily shoehorn's a bit of a strong word, but they wanted Ant-Man to tie into the larger universe. I don't think Edgar Wright wanted it to be that obviously tied in. And I don't know the general reaction to the movie, but I've heard that there are several tie-ins to the universe. I don't know any specifics, but it does tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Ant-Man. So it's kind of a similar thing that I expect with the Han Solo movie, is that it will tie in to the larger saga of Star Wars somehow.
Hmm.
And that's not necessarily Lord Miller's decision. That's going to be Disney and Lucasfilm's decision more than anything. I mean, when you think about it, they want another MCU in the Star Wars. It's not like so layered as that. It's more linear and chronological than the MCU. But what they want is they want these spin-off films to tie in and just kind of fill the gaps between these big entries, not just like in their slate of films year by year by year, but also in the mythology of the universe. They want to tie it all together and create that same effect. It's interesting that Disney's doing it when all of the other studios like Paramount and Sony and Fox want these, and Warner Brothers, they all want these universes now because of the success of the first Avengers. It's been over 3 years, and people in the studios are still trying to copy the Avengers, and Disney's doing it to itself a little bit. But now Jurassic World's the big thing, so it'll be interesting if the tactic, if the whole idea of it changes. But Han Solo, yes, I'm really enthusiastic about this, except for the fact that Harrison Ford is not going to play Han Solo.
That's why I was thinking if they. I mean, I don't know if they would tie it in, just because, I mean, you could have so many different stories with Han Solo, like a young version of him on his journey.
So much. I mean, we don't need it.
Yeah.
It's that thing we don't need, but it wouldn't hurt kind of thing. I just don't think it hurts. I think it's good. And I think Disney, for all of everybody being cynical about Disney, is that they're doing a hell of a lot better job with their studios they own and the properties they own than any other studio, I think. I mean, look at Warner Brothers. Sony's the worst one. I mean, but there's Sony. Warner Brothers is not quite sure what to do about its DCCU. It's trying to, like, what if it fails? They're going to be, and have no idea what to do. They're just trying to copy.
At least they're getting it out there, like, unlike other studios.
Yes, they are getting it out there, but it's a lot easier when you own all the rights to every character in the DC universe. So I don't know. It's hard. This monster movie franchise thing, they're not sure what they're doing. They've got these properties. Other studios have these properties, and they're trying to badly weave them together. Whereas Disney knows exactly what it's doing with Star Wars. It knows exactly what it's doing with Marvel. It even knows what it's doing with Pixar and not that that's a shared universe. That's another story for another day. Pixar, and they know what they're doing with Walt Disney Animation Studios. What they don't know what they're doing is with the live action department of Disney, which is the reboots and
It's just Disney fairy tales now. I think it's all with the exception of Tomorrowland. I think that's all it has been lately.
That's basically what I mean. They don't know what they're doing with that department. They're like run out of ideas in that department. But everything else is going really, really well. So I have faith in Disney that they will not stuff this up. And even though I'm kind of worried about the future of the MCU, especially beyond Infinity War, I'm not worried about Star Wars. I'm actually really, really, really excited about The Force Awakens this year. It's getting close, and I'm really hoping it is amazing. And I'm really starting to ride the hype train for Star Wars. So let's go, let's go, let's go.
Quickly on another, when I heard this news, I was like, is this going to be like another Marvel Edgar Wright? Is Disney going to let them have complete freedom on the young Han Solo film? Because these directors, they're not like Edgar Wright, but they like, so far their 4 films, they don't, it's not, none of them are safe. Every single one is a risk, and they pulled it off somehow successfully. Do you think?
Yeah. How many times can they do that before they fumble? I don't know. Like, no director is immune to failure. No director is immune to failure. No artist is immune to misstep. I mean, no studio is invulnerable to one flop or one creative misfire. There's no saying that this is definitely going to be great, but this is the right choice of directors for this project. That's basically it.
Okay. Moving on, which we sort of tied in with this one, Disney is developing a live-action fairy tale film about Prince Charming. The script is being written by Matt Fogel and joins a long list of live-action fairy tale properties at Disney, including next year's Alice in Wonderland 2 and The Jungle Book, and recently announced films such as Beauty and the Beast, Dumbo, Pinocchio, Milan, Winnie the Pooh, and Maleficent 2. And if I forgot one, leave it in the comments because that's the only ones I can remember. There's probably more out there that I've just forgotten about.
I want to see a list of all of these films that Disney has announced in 2015. How many of these have they announced in the past 6 freaking months? I don't know. If they announced them, if they released them as often as they announced them, we'd have more Disney Disney live-action reboots of animated films, fairy tales, than we would have superhero films in the next 5 years.
Oh, I think I'm getting breaking news. I think they're going to do a Tangled Frozen live-action adaptations now.
Oh, don't. No, seriously. This is broadcast on the internet. Don't give them ideas. There could be some Disney guy watching. That's what they're going to do. Seriously, I'm not joking. That's a bad idea. But it is going to happen. You wait for the live-action Frozen in 5 years' time. They're going to announce it, right? Actually, no, they're probably, at the rate they're going, they're going to run out of ideas for announcements this year, and by November we'll have Disney has run out of ideas for live-action reboots, so now they're going to reboot Frozen.
I think Tangled will get it before Frozen just because Frozen
Well,
is
they've
a
got
sequel.
the sequel first. They've got the animated sequel before they even think about the live-action one.
Oh, they're going to do 2 Frozens in 1 year. 1 live action.
Just make more animated movies. They should just give up on the live-action ones and just keep making more animated movies because they're fantastic. Anyway.
That's all you have to say. No, stop, Disney, stop doing this because I think.
No, I've done that too many times. I'm just like gonna ignore these things existing, and hopefully everybody else will, and they'll give up on them. These sorts of things will iron themselves out. So these sorts of things will it depends. They need an audience, and people are gonna get sick of them eventually. Just a matter of time.
At the moment, Disney's going to keep cashing in because they're making tons of money.
The first few aren't bad ideas. The first few, The Jungle Book, The Beauty and the Beast, the Cinderella this year, they weren't bad ideas for live action.
I thought Cinderella was a bad idea until I saw the film, but I think I'm more excited for Beauty and the Beast. I'm not excited for any of the others except for Beauty and the Beast, just because I like the cast. I don't like the director because he directed the last 2 Twilights.
That's why. That's why he's on Noah. I remember. Anyway, so
Russell Crowe was in it as well.
He's a great actor. He can sing, God damn it. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Prince Charming.
And I guess we're going to be sort of pitching. Watch this trailer after the show, I guess. So
we've both seen a trailer for a different movie that the other one hasn't seen, and we're going to talk about a trailer today, but it turns out none of us have seen the same trailer. So we'll talk about each other's trailers and why we're excited for the movies that they're trailering.
The new word, trailering. You want to go first?
Well, I just saw this morning. It was only very recent, so it's still fresh in my mind. I saw the Goosebumps trailer. It was it's pretty cool. It has Jack Black in it, and that always gets me interested. That's what got me interested, and that's why I pressed play on the trailer. It's and Goosebumps is a really popular property, and it has a very kind of cross Night at the Museum, kind of cross with the Spiderwick Chronicles, if anybody remembers that movie. It's kind of so it's basically the premise is that these monsters that are created by the author of Goosebumps, R.L. Stine, and Jack Black plays R.L. Stine, the author of the Goosebumps books, and inside the books, once they're opened, the monsters within them come to life, right?
Yeah.
That sounds bad, doesn't it?
Well,
but it looks better. It looks like the special effects are pretty good. There's a lot of special effects in the trailer, but the special effects look pretty decent, and it looks like it would be a fun GPG rated family film in the same kind of. It's targeting the same audience as Night at the Museum. So I think it could be fun. It could be bad. But it looked like it was quite exciting. So I'm actually interested. I didn't even know this movie existed before this morning. So there you go.
I'll need to watch the trailer.
Watch the trailer.
It doesn't get me excited whatsoever. It sounds like they just like. I thought when they announced Goosebumps, I thought they were gonna like adapt some of the books, but from that it sounds like no.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's what they're doing. They're bringing the monsters out of those books into the real world, kind of thing.
So it's going to
kind of like what they're doing with Pixels. It's kind of like what they're doing with Pixels, but with mythical monsters instead of video game characters.
So a little bit like Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, kind of like that. Not where it's animated and not where it's all like these monsters aren't as bad as you think. These monsters are actually supposed to be very dangerous and quite terrifying. For kids, it's not a horror movie, but it's horror comedy. I think they're going for like a thriller horror comedy aimed at elder children to younger teenagers. I think that's the audience they're going for. Could be fun. That's the audience of the books. So they're aiming for the audience of the books.
I think I can't really remember, but I think I've read like one or two, and I just remember it. They were a bit scary, and I don't know, it just doesn't sound like Goosebumps to me.
I don't know. The trailer didn't give a very scary vibe, I will say that, but it did seem like it would be fun.
It sounds like what Nintendo did with Metroid. It just sounds like they just slapped the goddamn the brand name.
No. This is off topic because a lot of people that are watching us now don't know what we're talking about. Now I'd have to give pretext for the. Wait, no, that's another time. Just look up Metroid Prime Federation Force, and you'll know everything. Okay. All right. It's nothing like that.
Okay, well, watch the trailer. Hopefully, it sounds a lot better than what.
Yeah, I'm terrible explaining, but yeah, it might not be as great. It might not be as great as I think. It gives me the same kind of vibe as the Maze Runner trailer did last year. So it was like not a movie I'm hyped for, but a movie I'm interested in seeing.
Okay, and I guess if you want to see that, add that to for us to Boxing Day, because there's like so many movies opening on the 26th of December. There's like 6 films I want to see, and they're all opening on that same day. It's a nightmare.
Well, there you go. That is the Night at the Museum last year, wasn't it? So it's going for the exact same slot, exact same crowd.
But it's competing against like big time heavyweights. Star Wars, Good Dinosaur. Even Joy's coming out that day. It's like,
is Star Wars coming out on the 26th? No, it's not, is it?
No, it's coming out 19th, but it's going to compete against it. I mean, 7th, but it's going to compete against Star Wars, of course.
Of course, everything is. It's going to be just plowed away by Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
And the trailer you didn't see, Creed. I haven't seen any of the Rocky films. I've seen bits and pieces of the first one, and I've seen the majority of the 6th one. But I mean, they're pretty straightforward films, like boxing and stuff like that. But this one is pretty. Have you seen any of the Rocky films, Nick?
No. That's why I wasn't interested in watching the trailer. I did know that this trailer did drop this week, but I didn't even really register. I mean, I know that Sylvester Stallone played Rocky. That's all.
Well, what I'm actually sort of liking where they're taking the spin-off sequel, I guess, is that they are sort of catering to a new audience with only making references to the original Rocky films. So I think you should only see maybe the first one, and then maybe a little bit of the second, and then the 4th Rocky film. I think the first and the 4th one are probably major, what I know about plot-wise about them. I have definitely heard that they're referencing, and just the trailer alone, they've already started referencing them. But it's sort of a new take on Apollo Creed's son, and I guess Rocky's going to train him. But the trailer looks so good. They've like mimicked the music with like some of the shots, which actually look really good. The great style of music, great style of dialogue. I think this will be an Oscar contender film. I am so hyped for this film. This film actually looks really good, and Michael B. Jordan was a fantastic choice.
You've really sold me on watching this trailer. Well done. Like, I failed, you won. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was going to watch it as soon as you said you saw it and you liked it. I was going to watch it. So I don't know. I'll have to watch it. It sounds like it could be good.
Any other news stories? Because that's all I've got. That's all I can find this week. Very lackluster.
I think that's all I can think of. Was there? Hang on. Let me just check. There was something else ringing a bell. Casting news-wise. I know that there's been some Daredevil casting, but that's more TV. Anyway. No, my internet's not loading. But that's all I can think of in terms of movie news this week. I should mention that the reason that it's so quiet this week is mainly because Comic-Con's coming this weekend. And I know that I don't think Comic-Con has nearly as much hype this year as it did the last few years because so many big movie panels are dropping out. But there's still quite a few big things that might come out. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Paramount still having a panel, isn't it? So there'll be Transformers news. Yeah.
Probably Paramount.
Yeah, there'll be Paramount news. There'll
Transformers.
There might. Is Legendary? Legendary's not having one this year, are they? No.
Not announced. Michael Bay, director of Transformers 5. Everybody, get excited! Woo!
Legendary Pictures, I think, dropped out. Marvel is the biggest one that's dropped out, but I'm pretty sure
Lucasfilm.
Star Wars. Lucasfilm's going to be there. Which is surprising that they didn't announce the Han Solo film there. And then there's Warner Brothers is having one, aren't they? They're having.
They usually have one. I'm pretty sure they have one.
They're having one. So they'll probably be the first Batman vs Superman proper trailer. Was it too early for that? No, it's not too early for that. It's only 9 months away.
They'll probably do what they did last year. They'll probably show off the trailer, but only for that audience. Be like, there's a film last year, I can't remember, but they had no, not last year. The year before, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer was actually revealed then, but we didn't get it like months after. That same trailer, we didn't get it months after that.
Because everybody loves trailers that spoil the endings.
I can't remember. Was it Fantastic Four last year that I might have been thinking of?
I don't know, but I've seen a Fantastic Four trailer, and I forgot that movie existed, and now you've reminded me.
Oh yeah, there's a movie called Fantastic Four that comes out next month. But I'm surprised Lucasfilm has a panel because I assume that Marvel skipped this year just because of D23, and that's what I thought.
Yeah, big thing at Comic-Con, but Star Wars can't really skip Comic-Con. Otherwise, where are all those people dressed as stormtroopers going to go?
But then where are the people dressed as Captain America and Iron Man going to go?
D23 next door. No. D23 is going to be big this year, I can tell, because there's now that the Inside Out's out and Good Dinosaur is nearly going to be out. By the time the next D23 comes out, for Pixar at least, Toy Story 4 will be in cinemas.
Well, actually, I already know all
Toy Story 4 will be in cinemas. Then next D23.
I already know. Well, there's D23 this year, next month.
Yes,
I already know
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, news. Yeah, next.
So I'm saying every single Pixar movie that's been announced will be out before the next D23. So they need to announce more.
I didn't thought of that.
Of course, The Incredibles 2 probably get a release date, maybe, I don't know. But that's for a discussion for August. We'll talk about that more in August. Anyway, that's probably why Marvel skipped Comic-Con, and I don't think Lucasfilm's going to have the biggest news here. They might have, I reckon at D23 they'll have more Rogue One information and Rogue One teasers and stuff like that. And, yeah, maybe the last Star Wars: The Force Awakens trailer.
Actually, I think DC might. They might. I don't. They might show off Batman v Superman. They might show off a clip. I'm thinking they might show off a teaser trailer for Suicide Squad because that's been in production for a while.
That's
And they
true.
could have
That's true.
they could have at least.
Guardians of the Galaxy have been filming for a week when they showed that at Comic Con in 2013.
And they could have had maybe teaser footage like they did for Batman v Superman, just designed for Comic Con. So who knows?
Cool. Who knows? We'll find out. The next month and a bit there'll be a lot of news coming out. So
yeah,
a lot of stuff.
Or next week. I mean, the trailers could be leaked, like Batman v Superman teaser was.
Yeah,
we could see them anyway. Just in terrible footage.
Anyway,
box office. I don't know who won because I haven't looked at the numbers yet. But
do you want to know? Hang on, I had Box Office Mojo up here. I can't remember what we went, but I know the.
I'll put that on our Facebook page later today. Who won? But the results are at number 5, Ted 2 with $11.2 million for a total of $58.5 million. At number 4 is Magic Mike XXL with $12.85 million for a total of $27.9 million. And number 3 is Terminator Genesis at $27 million for a total of $42.5 million. And I don't know, for our predictions, I don't know if I should take you as winner or when the actuals came out, that I should be the winner for that because...
Well, we always go by estimates, so go for the estimate.
Well, I only got the actuals here, but I know the estimates were like, I think Inside Out was 30.1 and Jurassic World was 30.9, but the actuals came out.
We have always gone by estimates, so we'll stick with the estimates, even though in reality, Inside Out did win. But by actuals, by estimates, which is what we should go by, is Jurassic World 1.
We should go by actuals. So
You want to go by the actuals? Okay, we'll go by the actuals. From now on...
I want to win 1 week.
Previously we... No, we go by estimates. No, but previously we did do the estimates because we normally counted them up before the actuals were released, right? So we gave the results before the actual released.
This is one of the odd, this is a very rare week for this to happen. But usually when we have estimates, when the actuals come out, they're not as close as each other. So they're very easy. Well, maybe 4 and 5 might switch, but they're like, yeah, who cares about 4 and 5 really? You're just glad you made a top 5. But
it's normally not 1 and 2. Very, very rarely does 1 and 2 have a switch from estimates to actuals. It's been amazing how close Jurassic World and Inside Out have been ever since Inside Out came out. Like, it's been neck and neck for 3 weeks now, and it's still going to be neck and neck next week. You watch, even though it's not going to be for number 1, it'll be for number 2 and 3, and but it's going to be
close, I think, to them. But then again, that's just came out, so it's not going to be next week. Next week, it'll be a different story for Terminator.
No, Terminator.
But it's surprising that Jurassic World has made a total so far of $556.5 million, and Inside Out has done $245.8 million, which is, I think, in the halfway point of Pixar's film so far.
All right. Well, Inside Out's been a success, so that's all that matters, really. So Jurassic World has also been a moderate success. So
Jurassic World's been a moderate success. Humongous success. No, 556.5. Every movie can make that much money.
Yeah, no, that's nothing. That $208 million opening weekend is nothing. That's just like, I'm pretty sure Ted 2 did that last week.
Who cares? 4th highest grossing film domestically. Who cares? That's only more. No, it's no Avatar.
Anyway. So that was the results. In terms of any interesting things to add about that, I don't know. It's just really good to see Inside Out finally claim the number 1 spot.
Woo! Inside Out. Although I'm a bit sad that it hit number 1 actually when I found out this week that it would have actually been the record holder for movies that never hit number 1. I took that away from my Big Fat Greek Wedding. So I was actually quite sad that.
13-year-old record.
Yeah.
But, I mean, now it's an even longer record. So when it does get broken, it'll be a 20-year-old record or a 30-year-old record. Who knows? It could go on forever. Yeah, unbroken.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 is in the works.
I know that is in the works for next year, I believe. That's what I've heard. But anyway, maybe we should go on to our predictions for next week.
I don't know who goes first. You can go first because I don't have my predictions, so I'm just gonna make sure I don't hit the same.
I'll go first, even though you're losing. So maybe you should go first.
Do you have your predictions already written?
Yes, I have my predictions.
You go first.
Okay.
If it's
right.
first, I'm giving you the chance this week.
Do you want me to go from 5? Do I go from 5 through to 1 or 1 down to 5? What do you normally
you want to
do? Okay. Number 5, I'm not sure about this film. It's being released nationwide, but I don't know where it's going to land. It's The Gallows. Don't know if you've...
Oh, yeah, The Gallows.
Yeah. So I don't even know what it's about. I just know the name. I don't even know this film came out. It's coming out. The Gallows, I'm going to put it number 5 because I don't know, it doesn't sound interesting to me and I didn't even know it existed until this morning. So then number 4, Terminator Genesis, I think might hold better than we expect because I have heard not unanimously bad stuff from word of mouth. Anyway, so number 3, I have Jurassic World. I think that the actuals from this weekend will hold, and Inside Out will come out on top of Jurassic World again, even despite the competition, because I think everybody will think, oh, with that film with the yellow people coming out, people are going to think, oh, that's going to impact Inside Out's gross, but it's not really, because people who didn't want to see it when it was really busy will now see it when they think it's going to be quiet because of which I think is number 1, which is Minions. Yeah, so Jurassic World, Inside Out, then Minions at number 1. But I might be wrong. Maybe Jurassic World.
I have no idea why I'm going to be doing that. Gallows, I've heard about it. It's a horror film set in...
I'd be surprised if it was a kid-friendly animated adventure film.
And I know horror films do well. Most horror films do well opening weekend. They can usually crack 10 million. So I'm assuming The Gallows would hit 10 million at least. But then again, I don't know if anyone's really interested. People are thinking it's going to make Unfriended kind of money, but Unfriended sort of had an appeal, sort of like, this was like sort of the first Skype sort of cinema film type thing. It had some people interest, and the trailer was actually viral. So I don't think the trailer's viral for this one, because I literally haven't really heard much about this either. So, oh man, I think number 5. Oh god, number 5. I'm gonna go with The Gallows. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Terminator. At number 3, I'm going to go with Inside Out, just to be different with you. 2, Jurassic World, and 1, Minions.
I thought you were going to put Minions at number 2 and Inside Out number 1 for a second. I was like, whoa. Minions gonna flop bad. No. What do you think Minions is going to make an opening weekend? I've heard predictions ranging up to 120 million. So what do you think?
Won't hit 120 million for 2 reasons. Yes, that's Despicable Me, but prequel, spin-off type films don't particularly open high. Don't really open that much higher compared to the original ones. Monsters Inc. was the exception, just because there was so many years that passed that film. It made sense for that to overgross it. But this is only a 2-year gap from the sequels. So, but then again, I do think it's going to top the second one slightly. I think it's going to open about 90 million.
Okay. So, I reckon it's going to be. Yeah, I reckon it's going to be higher. Inside Out opens at 90. I reckon it's going to be higher than Inside Out. So I think it'll be about 100.
100, okay.
But I can't believe that this is the norm now. We're having over $100 million openers, like time after time after time after time this year.
Although it's like, although it's like with franchise lately, if you, with the exception of Jurassic World, if you're like Terminator, Magic Mike, or Ted, you are like about to go extinct.
Oh no, no, you didn't. Jurassic
People
World makes everything extinct. Oh no, I didn't go
definitely.
there.
Um,
Uh,
I do think Minions aren't going to suffer, but it's like, is it going to take a bit of a drop, or is it like not going to open as high as we're going to expect is going to make? Or, but I think kids are interested in this film. It's got the Minions. It's what people see Despicable Me for. So, hmm.
yeah, I think it'll make a lot of money. But anyway, we should move on from box office. Hmm, be interesting.
Hmm. What do you think it's going to be for Comic Con? What do you think some of the announcements going to be at Comic Con? Casting
Well, we
announcements?
talked about it a little bit already. I think that I think we've covered kind of what we expect from the DC panel. Um, I expect Transformers 5 to be announced.
Yeah, I'm expecting Michael Bay. They'll announce him as director. They'll bring Mark Wahlberg back,
I
and
haven't really thought about it much, but um, look, as I said, I'm nowhere near as interested in. I'm so excited for D23. I'm nowhere near as interested in Comic Con this year.
get more Rogue One casting announcements because I haven't really heard much casting wise from that film for a while.
Casting announcements. Oh, that's the news I was thinking of. There's an actress that has been is the top pick to play Aunt May in Spider-Man. Have you heard this news?
No.
Okay, well there is. You can look that up, right? So some unknown, not relatively unknown actress called Marissa Tomei is the top pick of Sony and Marvel's to portray Aunt May in the new Spider-Man.
Sally Field's not coming back. Oh, I'm disappointed.
Mm, anyway, it's interesting. She looks younger than Sally Field, but she's not. She's,
They're going to do the Aunt May spin-off that they wanted to do with the Amazing Spider-Man.
oh, yeah. What about that? What about that? Did you hear about that film called Glass Ceiling? That was about all of the female characters in Spider-Man. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
Oh man, Aunt May is an Avenger. Just appeal for the older crowd, the older like the grandparents. Come and see the Avengers.
So X-Men Apocalypse will also be at Comic Con. So we'll know more about that. I keep forgetting about that film, even though I really enjoyed Days of Future Past. It just seems like one of those superhero movies that's just
I've been forgetting that's coming out next year. I keep thinking, Civil War and Batman
Civil War and Batman vs Superman, and you keep forgetting Apocalypse.
Fox hasn't really been marketing as well. It's like, where are you? It's like lost at the moment. But then again,
I know.
4 is getting lost already.
I hope. Oh, we do have a Legendary Pictures panel, so we will get more information hopefully on Godzilla, Godzilla 2, and Kong, Skull Island, and of course we're definitely going to get information on Warcraft.
Wow, nothing I'm interested in at all.
Pacific
Rim? Where's the Pacific Rim 2? I'm excited for that one.
We might get Pacific Rim. Who knows? Like Comic Con, hopefully with Marvel out, all of the other studios are going to be like, let's steal the show, because Marvel normally always steals the show. So this is their chance to. I mean, obviously DC is going to steal the show because all the fans of DC and Warner Brothers are going to be like, oh my God, Batman vs Superman beats everything. Doesn't matter what these other studios announce. It's going to be all everybody talks about at Comic Con. I betcha. Batman vs Superman.
Actually, they could probably reveal. They could probably reveal the trailer for Batman v Superman, but we probably won't see it for a while.
That's what I said.
I'm just remembering that they've been releasing like cover photos on Entertainment Weekly. We're getting more Wonder Woman photos, and they've actually released images.
They've actually got stills from Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, so I'm thinking those stills are from the trailer that's going to be announced at Comic Con.
Yeah. Obviously, it's so obvious. Anyway, we've gone for 50 minutes now. No, 40 minutes on this, so we better wrap it up. I think.
Join us next week where we're going to have probably like a special Comic Con talking film edition. If there's anything interesting, of course.
we'll have the show with or without information, but there's got to be at least something to talk about.
Yeah. If not, we can talk about half an hour of trailer reactions of how well the trailer sold us, sold us with Goosebumps and Creed. I don't know.
We'll talk about Creed.
So like our Facebook page at facebook.com/everythingfilm to like our reviews, news, and everything else like trivia. Join us next week. We'll reveal the date on the Facebook page. Until next time, bye bye.
Till next time.